Well, it was a rough couple of months during January, February and March. However, we seem to have found ourselves a little bit of form at the right time, which means that with 3 games left to go, we still have a chance at the playoffs. Hey guys, and welcome to episode 11 of my One Team, One Dream Into the Woods save. My name is James, and on today's episode, we have as many games as it takes for either us to get into the playoffs or to end the season. So we could have up to 3 games today with games against Kings Lynn, Dagenham Redbridge and Wrexham. And the reason I've come back like that is because of the league table we see here. We are just inside the playoffs by goal difference, but we still have the opportunity in theory to rise as high as 3rd. And on the final day of the season, we also face possible playoff opponents, Wrexham. In terms of how the games have gone, so this was the period I mentioned in the intro, January, February and March, just 2 wins out of the entire period. It was a tough time in terms of form. However, April has really saved us with 3 wins during April, unbeaten throughout April, which was unprecedented compared with the second half of this season. We then beat Wrexham 4-1 as well to kick off May. However, we did lose, but only 2-1 to second place Hartlepool. This means, as I mentioned, that we go into the last 3 games with still in a chance of getting in the playoffs. We currently sit in a position where if we can keep winning, we will stay in the playoffs, and it's as simple as that. But any slip-ups at all could see us drop out. But the fact that I think we were low as 13th or 14th at one point during January and February, and there was even talk of El Sakako and talk of the board getting rid of me and all this stuff. And what a turnaround in just a matter of weeks. Even if we look at the club vision, the board is now much happier. I've moved up to a B-. I say much happier. It's gone from a C to a B-. We are still struggling with the wage budget, and we did fail in the FA Trophy. That is going to rectify itself in the summer. Regardless of whether we get into the playoffs or not, this summer is going to be massively important because having gone through a number of the contracts and bits and pieces over the last couple of weeks, the one thing I have noticed in terms of the hierarchy is there's a very good chance that both team leaders are going to be leaving this summer. Mark Ricketts, his contract is up in June. I can't justify bringing him back in, if I'm honest. 36 he is now, 2-star current ability, 2-star potential ability. He's played 26 games this season and not put in a single good performance. And is his stamina, pace, strength, it's all going off a cliff. He's already very slow anyway. I'm probably going to be angering any Boreham Wood fans watching this by letting him go. I don't know how much of a leader he is in real life, but he's unfortunately going to be going. Tom Champion is another one as well, due up in the summer. He's 36. It's almost exactly the same situation as Ricketts. All of his physicals, though, are on downturn. No agility, no acceleration, no pace, and everything else is starting to drop as well. He did do well in the Cups. He hasn't really performed in the league, and with a number of youngsters and other players possibly coming during the summer as well, I think we need a little bit of an overhaul, and this is an opportunity maybe for players who are sitting in this area here to maybe step up. Fifield has another year on his contract. He's still a half-decent defender. He'll be staying on. Kane Smith is one that I am weighing up whether to try and sell him or not. Because he's been here 4 years. He's played almost the entire season. However, we have had nothing but inconsistency from this guy and nothing but problems. And regardless of how much we actually fine him in terms of wages, he still doesn't seem to want to put in a good performance. And do you know what? We've got at least one player coming in. I won't reveal them now. At least one player coming in at right back during the summer, a youngster from a Premier League team, and with a couple others at the club as well. It's whether we even need to keep him if he's going to be that inconsistent. Femi has also got another year in his contract, so he'll stay here as a backup left back, and Ashmore has got another year as well. and he will continue here. He's another one we've had a little bit of a few attitude problems throughout the season, but he's had a little bit of time time out of the side, so we'll obviously be looking at him during the summer. And do you know what? He's green almost across the board. The only one is obviously the one FA Cup match that he played in, but everything else he's been okay on. And I just realised actually that you can't even see his scores. There you go. See, almost green across the board. And obviously we're not even considering obviously some of the influential players that might step up as well, especially those that have spent a lot of the time around the squad this season. Whiteley is on loan, but he'll be going back. We've got Thomas, Colehurst, Chimanga unfortunately is likely to be going due to his contract issues. McDonnell, Angol, and Huddard, all of which have been kind of strong personalities in the squad this season, have spent a lot of time in the squad, and so maybe they'll take the opportunity to kind of step up, and this will probably look a little bit different come the start of next season. One final thing I wanted to mention before we get into the match is strikers. This is something that I believe is the reason we are here at the moment. I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but I don't know if this is just my say, but it's really weird how the average rating seems to be really, really unbalanced on this year's game so far. We've got, if you look at majority of the team are kind of on below 7 average rating for a team that's up near the playoffs, which is the most shocking thing. But then the only green areas are strikers, and our strikers have been ridiculous this season. Colehurst and Chimanga have scored 64 goals between the season. Colehurst is on 39 goals for the season, 10 assists. It's not exactly like he's being completely selfish there. But even if we look at someone like Thomas has scored 9 goals, 11 assists, but he's on 6.71. It makes absolutely no sense in terms of the ratings compared with previous versions of the games. Even McKinnon, who hasn't really played properly for the last for the second half of the season, is still on 7.07 for the season. Strikers seem to be very unbalanced in this year's game so far. I mean, I'm not necessarily complaining because it's actually the only reason we're up here, but it does make it very difficult to be able to work out who's playing well and who's not when everyone seems to be playing poorly, bar the strikers. And with that in mind as well, we also have the emergence of Ricky Fagan. Ricky Fagan is now a 4-star current ability striker at 17 years old. This guy has come on leaps and bounds. If we look at his progress, this is his progress so far this season. From a 2.5-star current ability player to a 4-star potential ability player. This guy is going to be a starter next season, which is why I'm not as worried about Chimanga leaving if he doesn't want to negotiate a reasonable contract, because we're going to have this guy come in, because he even came in for a couple of games while Colehurst was out injured during this period between the episodes. Even if we look actually at his form, he came in, he's had those 3 assists and the 2 goals are just on the last 4 games. He really has kind of taken that in his stride a little bit and tried to try and provide him to give himself an opportunity to be in the squad. And actually going into the first game of today's episode, unfortunately, he does drop down to the bench for today's squad, really because I can't bring myself to bench Colehurst, and now he's fully fit. A guy who scored 39 goals in a season for us. I think I'd probably sack myself just for even suggesting the fact that I'm going to put him on the bench. So this is the team that is going to be facing Kings Lynn in the first of possibly 3 games today. We have Huddard in goal, a back 4 of Angol, Tricker, Fifield and Smith, Thomas, Adebayi, McDonnell and Whiteley in central midfield, with Colehurst and Chimanga back up front, partnered together once again. And it does take a little bit of the pressure off as well, knowing that if either of the strikers don't necessarily do well in a game, I can still bring on Ricky Fagan, who is going to put in a shift for us. So we've to have 3, and if you include McKinnon as well, 4 strikers at the club that quite happily come in and score a few goals for us or create a few assists. We have a highlight here on 6 minutes. Huddard with the ball, big ball forward to Adebayi. Now puts out to Whiteley. Whiteley with a little bit of running room. Can he put it through for one of our strikers? He can. Colehurst. Adebayi on the rebound. Colehurst's shot was blocked. Adebayi managed to collect the rebound, smashing it in off a mixture, I think, of the goalkeeper and the woodwork. Here, Adebayi puts out wide. Whiteley with a little bit of running room. Coming inside, tries to put to Colehurst. Defender blocks it. Adebayi on the rebound, smashes it in off the woodwork into the back of the net. making it Boreham Wood 1, Kings Lynn 0, and straight away we have another highlight. This is very rarely a good thing. Kings Lynn now from the kickoff, looking to bring it forward. McFadden manages to tackle Angol, who managed to collect the ball. Fifield, though, kicks the ball forward. We've managed to bring it down. Maybe we can create something from this. Thomas now has the ball. He really needs to start putting in some good shifts. Otherwise, we're going to consider whether we even keep him for next season. Angol with the ball now. With the big ball forward to Colehurst in the penalty area. He takes a shot, hits the post, and it goes out for a goal kick. He did have Shamanga in the centre. Maybe that should have been his better option. We have a throw in Kings Lynn's half. But however, Kings Lynn have won the ball back. Richards hoofs the ball forward, but Tricker manages to collect the loose ball. Whiteley can't get there, unfortunately, so Kings Lynn win it back again, looking to try and equalise. Tricker does really well yet again to manage to deflect the ball across to Whiteley. Whiteley with a huge ball forward to Shamanga in the penalty area. He's by himself, slots it past the keeper for his 26th goal of the season. Any other season, this man would be the top scorer in this team. However, even with Colehurst having been out for the last kind of couple of games, Shamanga is still overshadowed by the 39 goals that Colehurst has scored this season. And I would gather he's still going to score more in the final 3 games of the season, hopefully getting maybe 1 or 2 today as well. We have a corner with McDonnell. Whipped to the centre to Fifield. That makes it 3. Fifield scoring his first goal of the season, and what a time to score it, when there is a very good chance that this is going to set us on our way to confirming the playoffs. McDonnell with the corner to Fifield, who managed to lose his man, guiding it into the far corner and making it 3-0 before half-time. And there we have confirmation of a half-time score. Boreham Wood 3, Kings Lynn 0. This is worlds away from where we were just a couple of months ago. God, this feels so much better than it did do halfway through this season. However, I still have that little bit of cynicism in the back of my head for how we were playing at some points during this season, and thinking going to the second half, it's going to be 3-3, isn't it? Or they're going to win 4-3. We're going to fall apart in the second half. I'm not going to say complacent. I'm going to pump my fist and say, go out there and give a worthy display. Because I have found the complacency thing this season doesn't seem to work. A couple of times I've tried it, and it has led to us conceding a considerable amount of goals in the second half. Now, whether that's just a placebo effect, and it would have happened anyway regardless of what I said at half time, but it does make me a little bit wary about it. But coming up to 70 minutes now, and we've only just had our first highlight. We've got the ball. Whiteley, Shamanga 1-2. Whipped out while looking for Thomas. Unfortunately, can't find anybody but a Kings Lynn player. Gash now has the ball to Richards, chip forward. Kings Lynn looking to try and I mean, you say a consolation goal could be the start of their comeback if they manage to get it this early on in the second half. Gash with the ball now to Power. Whitman centre. Huddard clutches it out of the air. Can we go route 1 and try and get number 4 for today? Goes through to Shamanga. Shamanga heads it out wide to Thomas. Can Thomas whip in across in the centre? Unfortunately, can't even beat the first man. And Kings Lynn yet again now look to bring the ball forward with Richards. Only manages to find Tricker. We now look to bring forward again. It is back and forth at the moment. This is what many of our games have been like. But Colehurst is free in the centre. Smashes it in for goal number 40. And 4-0 for us as well. All the 4s and 0s in that goal. That was really, really back and forth. As I said, as many of our games have been since we switched tactic. Angol with a chip forward. Defender missed it. Colehurst with the dummy. Smashes it into the back of the net. Keeper was going to have absolutely no chance with that, and no one was going to stop him getting his 40th goal of the season. This man is absolutely insane. Right, I think it's time to make a couple of substitutions. We're getting a few tired legs out there. Let's bring Kuyar on for Whiteley. I think Thomas says he's hampered by injury. I think what we'll do is we'll bring on Blackshaw. A couple of times we've tried him out wide. I know he's not a winger, but we'll drop him back a little bit so he can sit. He sits back sits a little bit further back. But at the very least, he'll be able to be an extra body out there rather than having to shift around the formation. We have a highlight in injury time. 90 minutes has just ticked over. Huddard with the goal kick. Doesn't go very far, and unfortunately Kings Lynn look to bring the ball forward. It's going to be really disappointing if we can't keep a clean sheet. I mean, it doesn't make a difference in the grand scheme of things, but we just cannot stop conceding. And I know I'm still complaining. We're 4-1 up. I should be delighted at this, and I am delighted at this. I know it doesn't make a difference, but it's still slightly frustrating that we can't just keep a clean sheet. We couldn't have held on just for the last couple of minutes. The only thing I can think of is I did just praise them on about 84 minutes. Is it? I mean, do the shouts have that much of an influence on the game negatively? Is it that praising them maybe made them complacent? I don't know. I could try that, and I'll try that in another match. Maybe avoid saying anything like that at all, and just letting the players go out and do their thing. But with that aside, another fantastic performance by us. Both Tshimanga and Colehurst yet again with positive ratings, but Adebayo and Fifield matching them as well. But again, a lot of 4-1 and a lot of I'd say poor scores. Smith only had a 6.6, Ango only had a 6.4. I don't know, there's something awry with ratings at the moment. It seems very, very weird. But I'm going to go outstretched arms. Very happy the way we played today. I haven't seen how the teams did around us to know how that's going to affect. We are now up to 6th and a point now ahead of Wealdstone. That looks like we're more than likely going to be playing the final 2 games as well, based on the current points gaps. So with no further ado, I will jump into the next game. So this is a bit of a surprise, just going between the matches, and we have here a voting for the Vanarama National League Player of the Season, and we have 2 candidates. We have Tshimanga and Colehurst, unsurprisingly, up there. I can't vote for my own players. What is that? Why can I not vote for my own players? I mean, I suppose that makes sense. Right, well, who's the worst player? Who's going to get the least votes? I mean, the defenders have actually done really well. Who's the worst striker? I mean, I'm going to go with... but Hartlepool second. Maybe we go for somebody in the middle. No, I'm going to go for Maguire because he's the worst defender of the 4 in terms of rating. So I'm going to go for Maguire Lawrence. Throw my vote away and hope that everyone else votes for one of my players. I mean, surely Colehurst, with his 40 goals this season, 7.38. I mean, he hasn't got the top assists, but I think he's got about 10 assists on top of that as well. 13 Player of the Match awards, best pass completion. He's got luckily another 2 years on his contract. I was about to say, do we offer him a new contract? Maybe we do in the summer anyway, but he's got another 2 years on his contract. Still more to develop as well. And this guy is on his way to being an absolute superstar for us. Just a couple of days later, we have the second match of today's episode against already relegated Dagenham and Redbridge. So a team that aren't necessarily playing for anything, but that does also make them more dangerous because the pressure is off, and they are also going to be playing for their place next season, or playing for a transfer back up to the National League if there are teams looking for those players. We've also had, unfortunately, a couple of injuries during between the matches. Thomas is out. I think it was only a pulled muscle, so he's been out for a couple of days. But he is still out for another 4 or 5 days. The bigger injury in terms of severity is Ricky Fagan, who has got a groin strain and is out for 3 to 5 weeks. So there is a good chance if we do get into the playoffs, he may miss the playoffs altogether. But we have McKinnon, who is back on the bench again. Obviously, it doesn't affect our starting 11, but more so obviously our backup options on the bench. So with that in mind, it's only one change, with Kuyar coming in for Thomas on that left-hand side. Other than that, the team is exactly the same formation, mentality. We're going out with everything we did in the previous match. Going to try and replicate that win again, this time against Dagenham and Redbridge. If results go our way elsewhere, we'll hopefully confirm our place in the playoffs if we can get a convincing enough win. I am going to point the finger and say, go out there and carry on where you did in the last match. We want more of the same, please. Right, on 24 minutes, we have a free kick just inside our half. Smith with the ball. Big ball forward to Tshimanga. Can he get across to Colehurst? Yes, he can. Colehurst puts it in for goal number 41. And our first of the game. Really straightforward. Route 1 as it should be. Kane to Tshimanga. Tshimanga across to Colehurst. What a partnership these two have created this season. It is disappointing that I don't think we're going to be able to keep Tshimanga. It depends on how we see it at the end of the season. If nobody else still wants him, I will definitely offer him a new contract, but I can't justify some of the money contributions he wanted into his contract when it comes to extra fees and things like that. But hopefully we'll be able to negotiate something out of him. And coming into half-time, I'd say we had a good first half, but bar that one shot, and which was the goal that we scored, we've done really nothing else in that first half. Fairly disappointing, if I'm honest, against this side. And in the latter stages of that half, let Dagenham Redbridge back into the game again, and we need to stop that before it starts to cause us problems. I'm going to point the finger. I'm not happy with the performance. As much as the assistant manager wanted to say that we're doing well, but we're capable of better, I don't think we played very well in that first half. But we have another opportunity here, maybe. Kuyar with the ball, out wide to Colehurst. Colehurst this time looking to whip the cross in the centre. Winston to Tshimanga. Shimanga's shot is blocked. Now to McDonald from range. Unfortunately, he couldn't get it on target. What a goal that would have been to put us 2-0 up. We have a throw in here with Angol. Colehurst whips it into the centre. Unfortunately, can't find anybody. McDonald, though, is quickest to collect the loose ball. Adebayi looking for a pass. And back to McDonald again. Out wide to Whiteley. Can Whiteley bring it? He goes on the overlap for Smith. Smith within the centre to Colehurst. Colehurst who puts it in for number 42. And our second of the game. Surely I was about to say surely this confirms our win today, but we've still got 15 minutes of game left to play. And I still don't trust the fact that we're not going to fall apart. But that takes us a long way to getting us the win we needed today. Colehurst with his 42nd goal of the season, making it 2-0. And straight away, Dagenham and Redbridge are going to punish me for saying what I just said. As they look to bring it forward, Wilson Fifield though manages to collect the ball. Looking to bring it forward. What is he? I mean, as a central defender, he is far forward than he should be. Whiteley chips it forward to Tshimanga. Can Tshimanga whip it in the centre for Colehurst? No, Whiteley instead. Colehurst! It's Colehurst for number 43. Now, with his hat-trick, that confirms our win today. And when we get a chance to look at the league table, we'll be able to see, based on the other results around us, whether we actually confirm playoffs today, or whether we'll have to go into the final game of the season with the tough game against, I think it was Wrexham, I believe it was, in our final game of the season, who are also pushing for playoffs. So let's pause it there. Wrexham, who are just above us, we are now 4 points. We're now 4 points ahead of Torquay. I've just noticed actually we've got Dagenham and Redbridge stats up twice. Why have we not got latest scores? There we go, latest scores. Apologies for anybody wanting to see the latest scores, and I didn't even notice up to this point. So Wildston, how are they getting on? So they must have already played, so they can't do anything. So actually with Barnet... Oh no, Barnet are losing to Wrexham. There we go. God, I could trying to get my brain engaged now. So Barnet are losing to Wrexham. So Wrexham... that's why Wrexham is staying above us. But we are now 4 points ahead. If this stays at it is, we confirm playoffs today, and that takes all the pressure off the final Wrexham game, but does give us an opportunity to be able to try out against a team who are likely to be facing in the playoffs at some point if we manage to get through them. Right, Dagenham Redbridge have a corner here. Whipped into the centre, cleared yet again by Tricker. He has been played, both Fifield and Tricker have played very well today defensively. Balanta into the centre, but Huddard manages to collect the wayward cross. Can we go route one and try and get number 4? Huddard hoofs it down the field. Brilliant hoof by Cole. Oh, I'm losing the ability to talk at this point. Huddard with the big ball forward. Brilliant assist by Huddard. I wonder if that's his first of the season. Huddard, huge ball forward. Through to Colehurst. Colehurst knocks it in for number 4 for him today. 4 for us. 44 for the season. All the 4s to confirm us 4 points ahead of the team closest to us. And while I'm saying that as well, I'm trying to be clever with my words. Tshimanga stops me in my tracks to make it 5 for his 27th goal of the season, and we are now running rampant. We have yet another highlight. Can we get 6? We want 6. We want 6. We want 6. That's what the fans are cheering. Adebayi from range. We have 6. This is the type of game that is going to give us such momentum going into the playoffs. I am really excited at excited at our chances now. I know we're playing a side that is already down and already beaten and already kind of broken at this point, if I'm honest, and a team that is likely to get torn apart as they sell off their key players as they drop down into the lower league. But it's still a fantastic win and such a statement win as well. But Bernard has a white wife of Dagenham Redbridge. Are they going to put a blot on the copybook? No, they're not. Over the top with only 2 minutes left to play. And there we go, full time. Boreham Wood 6. I'll reiterate this again. Boreham Wood 6. Dagenham Redbridge 0. And 9.9 by Colehurst, who I don't even know how. I think, did you get 4 today, or was it 5 in the end? I'm not even 100% sure at this point. Shamanga though with an 8.2 as well. Any other day this man would have got man of the match, but nobody at the moment can touch Shaq Colehurst for a performance. This man is going to take us into the Football League. I promise you that right now. Outstretched arms. We did what we needed to do today. Thoroughly professional job. Absolute annihilation of Dagenham Redbridge, piling on the misery for them this season. And have we got it confirmed here? We have it confirmed. We have secured the playoffs. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. We have dragged this back so well in these last couple of weeks. It shows you how close it was. It looked like no one wanted to really get into the playoffs. It was so close right up into the end of the season. Right, so the plan is going to be now, I'm going to run through, play the final game of the season. I won't bother showing you it as it doesn't really mean anything at this point. And we'll see how we got on in the final game. And then the following episodes this week will be the playoffs. So we're in 6th position, so I believe we play a playoff type situation, or it might be a round 1 playoff, where I presume we're going to be facing either Wrexham or Chesterfield. We then go into the playoff semi-finals against either Bromley and Hartlepool if we do get that far, followed by a playoff final. So those will likely to be, depending on how many legs are in those matches, likely to be the next couple of episodes. Another thing to keep an eye out for as well. So we've currently scored 101 goals this season, which is absolutely mad. It smashes our own record to begin with, but we are 2 goals away from breaking the Vanarama national record, which was set back in the 90-91 season by Barnet. So we could smash a 20-year-old record today if we managed to score at least 2 goals. So that's something definitely to be keeping an eye out for. We got the final win of the season as well. We had a bit of a niffy start in the first half, managed to turn it around in the second half, scoring 2 goals, both from Shamanga, 76 and 83 minutes. The team as a whole didn't necessarily play very well, but as long as one of these 2 guys is firing, I think we've got a chance of going all the way. I honestly believe we nicked one in this game, but if we can do that in the playoffs, it's a knockout competition, and we've only got to do it once to be able to get through to the next round. So with that win, it takes us to 4th in the table, where we will be playing Chesterfield. One very cool little piece of Boreham Wood news as well is that Barnet and Sutton, obviously 2 rivals, neither made the playoffs. Sutton did actually really well to pull themselves up out of the relegation battle, but Barnet completely fell apart, as we did a couple of months ago, but they did it at the wrong time of the season, which meant they missed out by 2 points. Bromley do make the playoffs though, and that will be quite exciting if we manage to avoid Bromley. If we manage to get to a Bromley-Boreham Wood final, that would be absolutely awesome. What a final game of the season that would be. But I'm not going to get ahead of myself. The next match will be against Chesterfield, and that will be on the next episode. If you are excited to see how we get on in the playoffs, please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the bell icon to be notified of those playoff game episodes as they come out. And thank you very much for watching.